They say a mother's strength is quiet, but when life pushed Lerato to the edge, the whole township would one day talk about how she refused to fall. Lerato lived with her 2 children, 11-year-old Naledi and 6-year-old Neo, in a tiny rented room near the train tracks. She worked at a textile factory, not a fancy job, but enough to keep the lights on and the home warm. Her laughter filled the house even on days when her body was tired and her spirit felt thin. Then one ordinary Tuesday morning, everything changed. Lerato arrived at the factory to find the gates locked and workers gathered outside, whispering. A supervisor stepped forward and handed out envelopes without saying a single comforting word. Inside, the message was short and merciless. The factory was shutting down immediately. They were all out of work. Something inside Lerato collapsed, but she forced herself to breathe. She thought of rent. She thought of school fees. She thought of her children waiting at home. And though her hands trembled, she whispered her grandmother's words. Where life closes a door, God has already opened another. But even faith doesn't remove reality. She didn't tell the kids right away. Every morning she still woke up early, put on her uniform, and pretended to go to work. Instead, she walked through town asking for any job she could find, washing laundry, sweeping yards, babysitting. Some days she earned a few coins. Many days she came home empty-handed. The cupboards grew emptier. The food portions became smaller. Lerato gave the children the biggest shares and pretended she wasn't hungry. Naledi noticed. One night she woke up and found her mother in the dim kitchen drinking warm water to fill her stomach. "Mom," she whispered, "you didn't eat again." Lerato tried to smile, but her eyes gave her away. "I'm okay, my child. Moms don't get hungry." But both of them knew the truth. The struggle grew heavier. Then came the rainy Friday, the kind of day when the sky refuses to stop crying. Their food had run out that very morning. Lerato walked through the rain searching for work, her clothes soaked, her heart breaking. Door after door she heard. No jobs. Maybe next week. Try again later. She stood under a shop awning, shivering, whispering a quiet prayer. "God, I don't need much. Just enough to feed my children today." At that moment, an elderly woman from the neighborhood approached her gently. "Lerato, dear, are you all right?" And when Lerato tried to lie, the woman simply said, "Come inside. You look like you need a warm drink." Inside the small shop, Lerato finally broke. Not with loud sobs, just tears that slid silently as she spoke of losing her job, of pretending for the children, of having nothing left. The old woman didn't lecture her. She simply listened. Then she stood up, walked to the shelves, and began filling a bag. Rice, flour, potatoes, beans, vegetables, oil, even a small treat for the kids. Lerato panicked, shaking her head. "No, please, I can't afford." "It's not payment I want," the woman said softly. "It's for the children. When your blessing comes, help someone else. That's all." Lerato cried harder than she had cried in months. That night, for the first time in days, her children ate a full meal. And though she tried to hide it, Lerato ate too. Days passed. The groceries helped, but the pressure didn't stop. One morning, while hanging laundry, she heard a voice from over the fence. "Morning, Lerato. Why haven't I seen you going to work lately?" It was Mr. Pico, the neighbor in the green security uniform. For the first time, she told someone the truth. "I lost my job," she said quietly. "I'm trying, but it's hard." Instead of pity, his face brightened with an idea. "My sister's company needs temporary cleaners. It's not much, but it's something. Give me your CV, I'll deliver it today." Her heart jumped. 3 days later she received a call. "Can you start tomorrow?" When she hung up, she held her hands over her mouth to stop herself from screaming with joy. The cleaning job was tough, but Lerato worked like her life depended on it. She arrived early. She scrubbed floors until they shone. She smiled even when her feet ached. And she prayed every day that this small beginning would grow. At the end of the month, she received her first paycheck. She bought groceries, electricity, school socks, and even a small chicken for stew. When she walked into the house with bags in her arms, Neo shouted, "Mama is rich!" and Naledi hugged her so tightly she almost couldn't breathe. Life slowly began to change. Then, one afternoon while wiping tables, Lerato overheard two women talking in the kitchen. "That cleaner is always early. She works like she owns this place. She's consistent. I like her." She kept her eyes down, pretending not to hear, but inside hope flickered again. A few days later, her supervisor called her into the office. "Lerato," he said, "your work ethic is incredible. We'd like to offer you a permanent position, with a salary increase." Her knees nearly gave way. She stepped into the bathroom afterward, locked the door, and cried, this time from joy. Because for the first time in a long time, the future looked possible again. Months later, Lerato walked back to the shop where the elderly woman had helped her. When the woman saw her, she smiled wide. "You look brighter these days," she said warmly. Lerato handed her an envelope. Inside was money, not as repayment, but as gratitude. The woman shook her head. "Child, this is too much. It's not even half of what your kindness gave me," Lerato replied with tears in her eyes. The two women hugged, both remembering that rainy Friday. Years passed, and when her children became older, they finally understood everything their mother had done. Every sacrifice, every tough decision, every quiet prayer. And Lerato taught them something simple, something powerful. Faith doesn't mean life will be easy. Faith means you keep walking even when you can barely see the path. Because sometimes all you have is hope. And sometimes hope is enough. Share and like this story so that it reaches more single mothers out there.